Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime Coaching in association with My Pocket Coach. My name is Kim Brits and I'm an executive coach, leadership facilitator and host to the Lunchtime series. Today we are chatting to a results and executive coach who is a licensed partner for the International Best Year Yet coaching system. Please welcome Thuli Tshabalala. How are you, Thuli?
Hey Kevin, I'm good, and you?
Good. Thank you for making the time and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
So Thuli, to kick it off, the first thing that stands out for me, this International Best Year Yet coaching system. Tell us who you are, because I want to touch on that, because that sounds like really interesting. But tell us who you are, what you do, and give us some more idea on what that is.
Okay, so I am an executive coach. I have been coaching and facilitating in leadership space for the last 13 years. And then last year, I bought this franchise, the Best Year Yet, and I'm the only person in South Africa who has the franchise.
Fantastic. And so in terms of what your Best Year Yet, what is it? It's a sort of a coaching system. Give us some insight about what that is and what people can look forward to if they have to go down that road with you.
It's a very simple, very inspiring and very focused coaching system. It's an online coaching system. So we can also do it live after lockdown, I suppose. But at the moment, we're fully geared for the online system. So the system is set in such a way that we just coach over a period of 12 months. It's called Best Year Yet because you want to create the best year results. In your year. So the nice thing about it is that you do it for the first year, and after people see results, what we see, they want to have another best year yet, over and over and over and over again. So it is a very nice tool to support leaders and teams and organizations to achieve their annual results, whether it's personal. Usually it's personal, a combination of personal and professional. Those are the areas that we coach in.
That's fantastic. So one of the conversations and info points that you shared with me is the understanding and embracing cultural diversity. This is definitely a topic that I know South Africa is embracing in a big way. But don't you want to just touch on what that is and why this is so important to have this conversation?
It's very important because when we look at organizations, all organizations have got the same systems, similar processes, same policies. So what is different? What is different is the people. So the cultural diversity, people often think it's a racial thing or it's a political thing. It's not at all about that only. It's about working with people in your organization to embrace the differences so that the differences are able to make a difference. Yeah. So one organization, they could be in retail. And one organization could be thriving and the other wouldn't be thriving. Why? The one that thrives is where they've got the culture of the organization that works to support the strategy. And usually organizations that don't thrive, you find that the culture doesn't support the strategy. Hence the saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So yes, diversity is it's a very positive process. It's challenging, it's hard, it's tough, but those that have embraced it, they really thrive. You see organizations where they've got more mature people and younger people, and you see them working hand in hand and working well. Why? Because they've been able to tap into the culture and make the culture work. And besides just doing it for the organization, it's not about that. We spend about 8 hours at work, and even now that we're working virtually, you're connecting with people. It's very difficult to connect somebody who you're holding negative attitude towards. So cultural diversity promotes an ability to work together, creates a synergy, encourages all those positive aspects. It supports the organization's values so that we create a conducive culture for us to perform. So that's what it's about.
Fantastic. So in terms of adding some value, I know, the Lunchtime series was started to really give people a source of information, and now, in association with My Pocket Coach, it's a phenomenal idea that the IA Group has come up with, having a coach in your pocket, basically. Don't you want to just touch on that, and why this is also important to be able to have a coach so close to your palm of your hand?
Yeah, I think the main thing for us as human beings, we're looking for fulfillment. No matter how hard you work at work, no matter how much you earn, if your life is out of balance, your health is out of balance, your mind is out of balance, you won't be fulfilled. So coaching, what it does, we partner with individuals, with coaches, that we work in such a way that you balance your life and also create fulfillment, to find areas that will actually help you to achieve what you want to do. People are very successful. People are able to set goals. People are able to achieve goals. But with a coach, with partnering with somebody, it just is somebody that's there to ensure also the sustainability. How many of us make set goals and resolutions in January, and come March, we don't even know what we have written? And not because of any negative thing. It's the fact that we're so busy. Our lives there's so much that's pulling us in all directions. But an appointment with a coach, My Pocket Coach, is just something that is so easy that at lunchtime, whip up your phone and you talk confidentially, and you unlock the things that are blockages in your way, and you also thrive. You tap onto things that are working. You're able to move and to work on your goals. So it's crucial to do that. And especially now with working from home, most of the time you're on your own or you're in contact. You need that personal constant contact that you can evaluate as well. Take time to evaluate where you're at, how far you are with your goals, what can you do to move a little bit more. And so it really is, it's a great support.
It's fantastic. It's an amazing initiative, and I love that it's kicking off in a big way. In terms of one of the informations that you want to share with us today is how to sustain passion and focus to achieve your annual personal and professional goals. Don't you want to touch on the sustainability on passion and focus? I think I chat to a lot of people, and very often people go, oh yeah, no, I know that, I know I should have a purpose, I know I should feel fulfilled, and it's almost like they give it lip service. They almost get to a point where they're not actually engaged with their own self, or having the self-awareness of going, well, what does that mean? What does it behave like? Who do I become, and who do I show up as on a day-to-day basis to sustain the passion and focus of what it is I'm trying to achieve here? So as a coach, as someone who shares this with people, what is your advice that you can give people out there around that focus and passion that people really need to start cultivating?
So I think, number one, to sustain yourself, you've got to invest in yourself. You've got to invest in yourself. There's so many things that pull our attention, that needs our attention. So investing in coaching is investing in yourself. And what we do with the Best Year Yet, the main reason why I bought the franchise, is that we get with our coaches, we sign up a program, and a program is for a year. And every month on a consistent basis, we will meet. And before you even meet with me, the system, you are able to log directly onto our international system, and you are able to evaluate your goals. We've got some scorecards, and you can score yourself and everything, and you put the evidence and everything. So sustaining it really is about meeting once a month and being able to refresh where we're at. I get coaches that come through and they haven't performed well. And they know that the coaching session is not a judgment session. Even if you haven't performed, come through, because we're going to be able to open up and see what has distracted you, what has been the challenges. And then you can just work through that and move on. But that helps So that sustainability helps you not to move like 6 down the line and you said, oh, I haven't even achieved 50% of what I set out to achieve in January. Every month you are able to see how far you add. And Kevin, the exciting thing about Best Year Yet, we target that the lowest achievement of your goals would be about 80%.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
So
Yes.
people aim, so you get very invigorated. People aim to achieve minimum 80%. So you find that maybe you start off with 50%, you start getting used to the system, but you are so motivated. Every month you look forward to coming through and you can see. And if you're not performing, it's okay. At least you know what happened and you can nip those challenges and you make sure that you don't repeat them in the next month. So it really is it's an exciting supportive system, and Best Year Yet is built on that. It's non-judgmental, like all forms of coaching. But most important thing is that it's measurable. It's measurable. You know, to sit and have a nice conversation with your coach and like, okay, we'll see you next month is one thing. But to have a measurable system that you can see and you can justify and account yourself is very important.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, investing in yourself, a measure, and being able to put a measure to that, I think that in itself really does make you think, because very often when people go down the road of on investing in themselves, they may not necessarily have that kind of measuring system. You know, I look at the leadership programs that I also facilitate and also licensee to. You know, the measurement, I think that is key to success. Is how do I measure myself? How do I rate myself on these areas of my life? And really being able to have some kind of feedback mechanism, which really gives me reference on to how well I'm doing and where to from here. So one of the other conversations that or the points that you sent me here and that we want to sort of just touch on is how to intentionally embrace diversity, and I think the key word right there is intentionally, because you know, a lot of tick box systems are in place around this. But you know, from an individual's perspective, what is your advice? That, you know, obviously corporates have to do this, and it starts with putting systems in place like this. But from an individual perspective, how do I intentionally embrace diversity?
So intentionally starts with the mind. It starts with the mind. You set the intention in the mind, and that once the mind is set, it also, again, it needs to be supported by consistency. Consistently, and it needs to be sustained. And to do that, you do it through making your behaviors a lifestyle. You make it a lifestyle. So, for example, if you want to embrace diversity, or if you're going to be embarking on that, you obviously want to sit with a coach, understand what it is, and go through the models and the modules, whatever you're going through, you've got an understanding, and you're committing yourself. And if you're going to be changing from I approach everybody as equals.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be doing that, it's got to be it's got to be accompanied by some kind of a practice, some kind of a ritual. Find what works for you. Some people are evening people, some people are morning people. I'm a morning person. Every morning before I get out of bed, I go through my affirmations. This is who I am. I embrace diversity. I care about other people, whatever. But I've got values that I have, and I go through them every single morning, and I love it. And there's so much you can do with that because I combine them. I've now just changed my values to be gratitude values. So that it's like you cover your gratitude journal with that. You cover your values and you go through as affirmations, and all of that, it registers in your mind, and your mind becomes shaped by those thoughts. And oftentimes you'll find that sometimes we think unconsciously and kind of like thoughts, but your brain becomes very, very programmed to intentionally focus on this, have a positive focus of outlook. And also I find that it helps a lot with anxiety or just like being nervous and things that you're concerned about. You can write them down, and if they are in your affirmation, for example, if you feel like the year before I wasn't successful and this year you want to be successful, one of my affirmations is that I am successful beyond my imagination. I mean, I just feel so great when I wake up and I tell myself that I might not be successful that day. But you know what, Kevin? I can tell you, me believing that I'm successful beyond my imagination is so much more powerful than the thought I had last year where I felt, man, this was a difficult and I was not successful.
Yeah.
So through coaching, through Best Year Yet, I'm able to actually know, because we do a whole year's plan in one page, I'm able to see that this was my mindset last year. And this year I'm shifting it, intentionally shifting it. I'm successful beyond imagination. I mean, how great does that feel? So in summary, I'm saying that find a ritual that works for you or a practice that works for you, and find a specific time that you're going to do it, whether it's evening or morning, it doesn't matter. But you must be consistent and work on your mind, program your mind to produce the results that you want. So, yeah, and it's fun.
Absolutely. Thuli, while you're talking like this, and it's not on the list of questions, so I'm gonna throw you a curveball here.
Yeah.
But I wanna share a life-defining moment, and it's so wonderful to be able to tell story. And I'm sure this comes up when you also do a lot of what you do. One of the life-defining moments I had was I was doing training for a large bank, and I was working with their team leaders. And having gone through some really nice information with them through their training process, one of the things that happened that day was I was teaching sales. I was going through a sales process with the teams, and in my head, in my reference, without divulging too much about what the content would be, I slipped in some information around confidence. And that same day, I remember one individual walking into the room and like she was late and she didn't want to be there, and she sat down right in the back of the corner, and she didn't want to chat to anyone, and she just sat there like eyeing me from the corner of the room. And I was thinking, oh well, I'm just going to teach and I'm going to share this beautiful information. And strangely enough, I left that day and got a phone call randomly in the afternoon. And she said, oh, no, it's me. I'm from the class. I was in the training this morning. Please, I need help. I need you to, I need more. So I was like, you know what, just go through the second day's training and then we'll have a conversation. And Thuli, you won't believe going through that second day's training, that individual went through the training. I gave them practical tips to really go out and improve it in their own environment. And for me, it was such a life-defining moment where it almost spoke through what I was doing in that moment. And I just thought, share this confidence, this technique to really cultivate confidence with them and see, how they respond. And I remember it being such a life-defining moment for me, but not only for me, the response that this individual gave me, and eventually became, one of the top managers in the environment, and then eventually got a better job. And so sharing that with you, what are some of those, well, give us just at least one. What is a life-defining moment, and why do you do what you do, and what sort of stands out for you when you think, that's the thing, that's the juices that I love to really get flowing. What was that for you? Can you share maybe a life-defining moment?
Yes, yeah, there's so many, but just one that stands out for me was about storytelling. We were doing a diversity workshop and we were working in the mines. So working with people in the mines, they are so diverse, even the language, completely diverse. And it was a group of men, like the really hardcore miners that I was working with, and different races. And then we got to a session where we did storytelling. And the reason why we do storytelling is to understand each other, because we work together, but we don't know where people are coming from, and we don't understand. And I had these men, the majority of them, they were in tears by the end of the session.
Wow.
They were in tears by the end of the session. So what stood out, if I can just be specific, for example, that we had men that had gone to the army. And when they shared the impact of what that was like and how they didn't want to be there, how it was compulsory for them to be there, people were just so shocked, because in the township, when we saw the soldiers there, you thought the people are out to attack us. But to gain the respect and the understanding of how uncomfortable it was, how much it wasn't a choice for some of them, and you just walk away with a newfound respect for a person, and they were embracing. And on the other hand, the other guys that didn't go to the army, when they told us of these horrific stories of what they experienced, like corporal punishment that they got from home, some of them would be like, the fathers, so they would dig the hole and they would be put in there in the ground, and they come from such an aggressive environment, things you've never heard. And when you get to understand the real person and why they are the way they are, why are they aggressive, what are the triggers, what are the things that they come back from home, and you get to understand, you've got them around the table, it creates an incredible amount of respect. And as colleagues, it creates a lot of connection. So it's very important to create at a human level. So part of the exercises that we do are deliberately to help us to connect as people, that we might be sitting around here as strong men that do this hard work, that do this stuff, but deep down, we've got emotions. We are human beings, and we want to connect. We want to be loved and to be respected. And I think it's that was a life-defining moment for me, that, just never judge people from the surface. And also, if you get an opportunity to listen to somebody's story, like you were saying, it is the most powerful, honorable thing you can do for somebody.
It is, and and that's why I ask about it, because I think when people listen to these sessions, it's such a value add when people can take away a bit of tips and tricks, but they also kind of have a version of something, right? And we're all coaches, and we do various amount of stuff, and we do a lot of similar stuff. But as you rightfully point out, looking at from the outside and looking in, you really understand someone so much more when you have a bit of story about that. And that's why I really want to maybe just ask you that off off the cuff. But essentially, lastly, for today's questioning, tell us what motivates you. Obviously, life-defining moments like that definitely would motivate someone. But how do you? What is it that gets you up in the day and kind of goes, okay, cool, let's do this. Let's make it happen, and let's see how many people we can impact. What is that motivation for you?
Okay, so what motivates me is just the gift to be able to partner with somebody and work with them to achieve their goals, to be the better person. Everybody wants to achieve results. We're looking for fulfillment, and we want success. We want to be able to provide for our families. For me, it is an incredible and exciting privilege. Coaching is exciting. It's energizing. And it brings us all of those ability to think. And people, when you work with them as a coach, they do it themselves. As you know, as a coach, they kind of like have the potential in them. They've got the ability to do them. It gets me up. It gets me very excited to know that I'm going to be working with people that are creative, that are capable, and that can function at their own pace, in their own way. So it's an incredible privilege to be able to work with people, to see them achieve fulfillment. At the end of the session, our monthly sessions, I mean, people go beyond 80%. You know, I've got clients that move. You see somebody moving from 50% this month, the next month they are at 70, the next month they get it at 80%, and by the fourth month, they are at 95% of what they're doing, and they are just doing other goals. That is fulfillment to me.
I love that, and I can't, share enough the sentiment that you have about that, because I know that one of my international clients working with their leadership team at the moment, every now and then I'll just get a WhatsApp from the managing director going, "Thank you so much for everything you're doing. Thank you so much for having such impact on people's lives, and everything you put going through with us, because it's really making such an impression, not only in them but also in their teams." And when you get that feedback and you see people prosper and you see people do better at just being who they want to be, and I always look at it as well, and you never know the true potential of what someone could become or who they could become, so guiding that and helping them move strategically in that direction. Eventually you see this one of the coaches referred to it as it's like a flower blossoming.
Absolutely.
It's like you suddenly see this person opening up and really standing in their power, and you're going, wow, I didn't expect that, because essentially you just don't know what you don't know, and when people do and they really step up, it's such a beautiful thing to witness. So Thuli, we could carry on like this for a while, I'm sure. If people want to get hold of you, where do they go? I know that, obviously for both of us, the My Pocket Coach app is available and people can check that out. It's definitely quick and easy. You can download it on the App Store. But besides going to that, where else can we get hold of you?
Okay, I'm just the main focus area of contact is the best is the phone. It's easier.
Okay.
You can WhatsApp or phone me. And my number is, must I give my number?
Yeah, you can give your number.
Okay, it's 084-402-4736. And like you said, Kevin, we're just very excited about My Pocket Coach. All my information is in there, and you can look in there and you can go into my calendar and you'll be able to book me if there's space where you want to. Yeah. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Thuli, thank you so much for chatting, and thank you for making the time to share some wonderful insights from your side. I love the storytelling. I'm so gonna share that with everyone, and I'm excited for people to see this and share. Please share this with everybody. All this information that you have shared with us, though, is going to be in the description boxes below. So please check it out. I will put your website there and your name and your surname. That's Thuli Tshabalala, executive coach, who's chatted to us today. But also My Pocket Coach app is on Facebook and Instagram, so check it out, guys. Thuli, thank you so much, and I will see you soon. I'll see you in our weekly meetings.
Thank you, Kevin. That was such fun. Thank you.
So much fun. Thank you. Chat soon.
And all the best. Ciao, ciao.